Portuguese made that statue and the one on the grounds of the Bexar County Courthouse, they went and broke the mold to them. So now the only two statues in existence, identical to that one from the Portuguese in the world. Not only saying that they are patron saint here in San Antonio, but he's also the patron saint of Portugal. Turns out they made the statues and gave them to us during that time. Whenever we first got these two statues, we put them at the entranceway to the World's Fair that San Antonio's hosting back in '68. The way we got our name though here in the city, guys, back on June 13th, 1691. All-day Spanish Mass down the natural course of the river. Since June 13th, 1691 has to be a feast day of St. Anthony, go ahead and name the river San Antonio. Shortly after, the city adopted the exact same name, so we got our name here in the city. Now if you would though guys, go ahead and take a look off to my right hand side and through the trees. Now notice this church that's up here on street level. Guys, that is St. Joseph's Church, built back in 1868, and it's a German Catholic church. It was the first church that was built here in San Antonio after the Battle of the Alamo. On the fourth Sunday of any given month, they do hold a traditional German Catholic Mass with an all-male, German-speaking choir. But no one looks like, please feel free to visit them on that fourth Sunday. Do not ask me, because I have no clue. Never been inside that church on that Sunday. And also, the stained glass windows are in that church were brought here specifically for that building from Munich, Germany. Amazing enough, they didn't bring a single one of them as they crossed the Atlantic by boat back in the 1800s. Now right here on my right hand side, the guys who do have the City of San Antonio's Chamber of Commerce. They are looking at opening up business here in San Antonio. Those are the guys you want to talk to. We have all sorts of pamphlets feel read on how to open up business here in San Antonio. With that, they'll answer any question you might have there on the spot. Now, if you don't want to visit them there in person, you can go out and visit the website. It is sachamber.org. Alright guys, now as I mentioned, back in 1968, the City of San Antonio was hosting the World's Fair. Mr. Hilton issued a challenge to all the builders here in San Antonio. The challenge was to build a hotel with approximately 500 rooms in it in about 10 months or less. It's a pretty big challenge to try to fulfill. Hotel, speaking of though guys, I want to talk to my left-hand side over the Market Street Bridge right here. It is known as the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel, a palace on the river. Now guys, only one company actually accepted Mr. Hilton on this bit of a challenge to build this hotel. That was H.B. Zachary Company. It is enough though, H.B. Zachary Company, from the day they broke ground to the day they opened up their doors, only took a grand total of 202 days to build this hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, this grand total of about 8 months. Why they're able to accomplish this, they built the first 4 floors in the elevator shaft here on site. While at the exact same time, the rest of the floors are completed 8 miles south of us in assembly line fashion. After each room was completed 8 miles south of us, someone brought them up here on trucks, completely furnished. All the way down to the beds being made, the towels on the racks, even the pictures on the walls, and assembled them, just like Legos, by stacking them one on top of the other. It is still, to this day, the world's tallest and bestest modular built building. Now, up here in front of us, though, guys, we do have La Villita, or also known as Little Village. La Villita, back in the 1700s, is a Spanish colonial soldier housing facility. In the 1800s, it's a German immigrant housing facility. Nowadays, though, it's an arts and crafts center, field of view, and by art. There's a picture restaurant attached to it, though. So you can enjoy a nice evening meal while you're down here on the river walk. Next, though, guys, we'll go ahead and cruise to the middle of the Arneson River Theater. This theater is named after a gentleman called Edwin Arneson. Now, he was the chief engineer of the WPA here in San Antonio whenever it was first formed. As you can tell, to the left-hand side, though, guys, we do have the seating area. It holds approximately 800 people. Well, off to my right-hand side, though, guys, we do have the stage. As we cruise through here, though, guys, if you would go and take a look up on the stage, you notice we have 5 bells hanging out there. Guys, those 5 bells do represent the 5 different missions of San Antonio. They're not just up there for decoration. Well, in the middle bell, though, there's Jones' name inscribed on it. His name is Robert Hugman. Robert Hugman is a modern-day concept architect for the River Walk. He grew up right here in San Antonio, went to Breckenridge High School. Went to UT Austin for college, then went to New Orleans for his internship. After his internship was over with, he would move back here to San Antonio and joined up the Conservation Society. That was in the year 1926. 1924 is when the Conservation Society was formed by 2 ladies by the name of Graham Everett Green and Emily Edwards. Talk about those 2, though, just a little bit later on. But first up here in front of us, the guys, we do have the Presa Street Bridge. Back in the 1800s, there was actually a dam located on that spot. After it fulfilled its purposes, though, back in 1890, they went ahead and replaced it with this bridge you see before you today. is one of 10 remaining identical bridges throughout the United States. We do have 5 of them, though, right here on the River Walk alone. The city of San Antonio is keeping up with the style of bridge, so maintain this style of architecture for many years to come. Now, coming up off to the right-hand side, though, guys, you're going to notice an iron piece of artwork coming out, as that is known as Father Massenet's Table. Father Massenet's Table is put there to represent the first Catholic Mass along the River Walk. It was on June 13, 1691. It was only put there, though, back in 1991 to commemorate the 300-year anniversary of that time. This island that it's on, though, guys, is known as Marriage Island. It averages about 300 weddings per year on this little island alone. If you want to take a look at it, though, from up there on that balcony where you see those 2 umbrellas up there, down to here, this island is in the shape of a heart. As a naturally occurring island, it's not man-made whatsoever. Alright, guys, now we're cruising. We're going to go ahead and cruise underneath the Navarro Street Bridge. Back in the 1800s, this is actually known as the Old Mill Crossing. The reason for this is because, in fact, there's no grain mill here on the spot. Also, there were people had to cross over with their wagons and chose this spot over the other for 2 reasons. One, it was about 18-24 inches deep. 2, it had a hard rock bottom, so you didn't have to worry about getting stuck in the mud as you crossed the river. Now, if you would, though, guys, go ahead and take a look up here in front of us. You notice a red brick building with a green roof. Guys, that is known as the Barron County Courthouse. Built back in 1896. The city of San Antonio's oldest functioning courthouse, and it's one of the state's oldest functioning courthouses. Built with closed days, it's sit open back in that time, except for, of course, on federal holidays. Other than that, it remains open at all times. Alright, guys, I did see a couple of you. Let's take a look at this building. It's right here off to my left-hand side. This is known as the Tower Life Building. The Tower Life Building was built back in 1929, about a month or so before the great stock market crash. It has neo-Gothic architecture, the gargoyles are very tough, grotesque the line about the second floor. It's a little funny faces right now here. After they opened up this building and stock market crashed, they didn't consider it a bad omen. Obviously, it wasn't that bad of an omen due to the fact the stock market recovered. The building's still standing, still fully functional to this very day. It's actually the tallest building west of the Mississippi, though, whenever it was first built. Alright, guys, now right over here to my right-hand side, though, we do have the City of San Antonio's International Building. Now, from 1968 to 1998, this is actually our city public library. It's only 1999, they opened up as the International Building. It is now the home of NAFTA here in San Antonio, North American Free Trade Agreement with the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Alright, guys, next we'll go ahead and exit through floodgate number 4. Now, floodgate number 4 does it much like the tailgate on the back of a truck, the way it opens closes. Now, you can actually tell where it opens closes at these 2 metal pads right here on either side. Since it's all the way open, the guys who cruise right over here really don't get to see it. The floodgate number 4 and floodgate number 5 are identical in design, just different in a couple of things. One floodgate number 5 is actually located downriver from where we're headed, so that means it is going to be back behind me about 100 yards or so. Also about 15 feet tall, divided into 2 sections. And it is closed at all times, so it does regulate the water level throughout this entire area. Now, the San Antonio River does continue on for another 138 miles back behind me, where it ends the Guadalupe River. 2 miles after that, though, guys, Guadalupe River then ends the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the source of the river, though, guys, is only 4 miles up ahead of us, in the Edwards Aquifer, so very close to the river actually starts. Now, this area of the river that we're cruising through right now, though, guys, is known as the Flood Control Channel. It's not a natural flowing part of the river. It's carved out of the earth in 1926 and 1929. There used to be a market building, though, on this exact spot. Now, it wasn't really Maverick Green's and Lee Edwards' first task. Back in 1924, when they first formed the Conservation Society, we're going to try to save this market building. Unfortunately, they did not succeed in this endeavor. What they did do, though, were pregnant as they brought to life the full development potential of the riverbed itself. Riverbed, though, back in that day and age, is nothing but the back alleyway of businesses. It really wasn't used for anything to be support nowadays. Or even any sidewalks for you all to go and walk on. Now, speaking of sidewalks, though, guys, if you would go and take a look at the sidewalk area here off to my left-hand side. And that's a staircase that leads up to street level. As we pass by this staircase, take a look up in the background. You're going to notice there's a cathedral that's back there. Guys, the cathedral is known as San Fernando Cathedral. It's the first cathedral set up here in South Texas. It was actually around during the Battle of the Alamo. That's how long it's been over there. It's also the exact same area Santana's men set up shop at during the Battle of the Alamo. So the area between here and there, though, guys, is known as Main Plaza. Main Plaza does hold live musical entertainment starting around time of noon for y'all to go ahead and enjoy. Alright guys, now coming up off to the right hand side though guys, you notice a giant green doorway area coming up. As that is known as floodgate number 3. The floodgate number 3 is a pocket door design. It takes a total of 15 minutes for that door to go from this top position right up there, down to the bottom, and back up. Now the only time it takes more or less time for this to happen though guys, is when the chain drive on this thing happens to break. So it takes about 10 seconds for this door to close. But it's 100 days later for it to reopen once we finally get it fixed. Don't worry though, it's never really happened to my knowledge, so we're good to go. We use all our floodgates though at least once a year, so we can completely isolate the entire Riverwalk and drain out the Riverwalk area. Now the process that we do when clean out the bottom of the river, make sure it's all nice and neat for you the next year, whenever you decide to come back to us.
Oh, flower petals. No water.
Alright guys, now coming up off to my left hand side though, we do have the Jury and Suites. It's right there where you see the Texas Landing Cattle sign in, guys. Guys, the Jury and Suites back in 1921 was our city public service building. 1921 also happens to be the exact same year of the Great San Antonio flood. The floors rose to such a height that if you look at the Jury and Suites, you'll notice a set of shields just above the first set of windows. The floors rose all the way up to those shields. After the flowers finished rising, the sun rose a couple of days later. They noticed that 3/4 of a square mile of downtown San Antonio was completely underwater. Back in that day and age, a very large portion of the downtown area is approximately 80–90%. What caused this flood, though, guys, we did have a hurricane San Diego City, San Antonio for a total of 3 days. Now, if you would, though, guys, go ahead and take a look off to my right-hand side and up. Guys, you notice this giant Aztec head that's right here, as it does signify the entranceway to the Aztec Theater. As the Aztec Theater opened up back in 1926 as a silent black and white movie theater. It was not completely silent due to the fact they didn't play Hewlett's or pipe organs along with the movie to help the movie go along. The movie theater just finished undergoing renovations and restorations, so we bring it into the modern era while maintaining the Aztec Mayan type theme on the inside. Right next door to the Aztec Theater, guys, still off to my right hand side, this cream-colored building right here is known as the Mocara Hotel. Mocara Hotel, ladies and gentlemen, originally opened up as the L. Frank Saddler Company. The L. Frank Saddler Company during World War I supplied saddles and reins to the U.S., France, and Great Britain. Not only supplied them, they also supplied them to Pancho Villa and his group, and Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. Before their day and age, were the largest saddle manufacturers at approximately 500 people on site just making saddles and reins by hand. Does not include all the people they had in there, though. Include all the paperwork that was go along with it. Now, right over here to my left-hand side, there, guys, we do have the La Mansion Hotel. This hotel originally opened up back in 1853 as St. Mary's School for Boys, but combined with St. Mary's School for Girls to make St. Mary's Academy. And shortly after that, it ended up becoming St. Mary's University Law School here in San Antonio. Back in 1961, though, after the school moved across town to its current campus location, 2 of the students went out the original campus and built it up as the La Mansion. Now, prepare yourselves, though, guys, for an optical illusion as we exit from underneath this bridge, if you would. Go ahead and take a look off to my left-hand side and then straight up. You notice this building looks like a freestanding wall. Don't worry, though, it's not. It is, in fact, the Nix Hospital. The Nix Hospital opened up back in 1930s. The United States' first hospital of central heating and air was the first hospital here in San Antonio to be a full-service hospital. And that is the exact same hospital that the actress Carol Burnett was born in. We've had our research team doing some check-in. So we've been out as the only hospital in the great state of Texas with a bar and grill in the basement. Only in San Antonio can really get away with something like that, guys. Now up here in front of us, so guys, we do have the Hyatt Regency Hotel. This hotel is only 16 stories tall. The reason for this is because of the fact the Alamo is on the other side. And since the Alamo is a wartime memorial dedicated to fallen soldiers, this building is not allowed to cast a long shadow upon it all during the day. This includes during sunset. This does go true for any wartime memorial throughout the United States, whether it's above ground or below the sea. It really doesn't matter too much. Of course, there's always one exception to every rule. Guys, the only wartime memorial dedicated to fallen soldiers has a long shadow cast upon it. That has to be the Arizona Memorial out of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Due to the fact the building is actually built on top of the shadow, that actually cast a long shadow upon it.
Looks like a real dog.
Alright guys, now if you would though, go ahead and take a look up in front of us. Off to the right hand side and up, guys, this building right here with the multicolored roof is known as the Casino Club Building. The Casino Club building opened up back in 1927 as a German social club. Late 1920s, early 1930s, a large portion of our population was German. The reason for this is because the fact the German government of that day and age would send people here to San Antonio, wanting to open up businesses so you can help develop the city. Nowadays,